So, we're often told what to learn, right? But rarely how to actually, prosper financially. Today, we're doing a deep dive into some source material that really challenges the usual thinking about money. It draws on these two very different mentors.
Yeah, and our goal here is to unpack the core lessons. Stuff like financial literacy, assets versus liabilities, and, crucially, how to get your money working for you instead of, well, you working for money your whole life.
It's fascinating stuff. And our sources kick things off with a pretty startling truth. Most of us actually learn about money from our parents, not really in school.
Mm-hmm.
Which means even really smart people, as sources mentioned, smart bankers, doctors, and accountants can struggle because school focuses on, academic and job skills.
Exactly, but not on financial skills. That's the quote, and it's spot on.
It seems almost backward, doesn't it?
It really does. And this, according to the sources, often leads to what's called a poor person's financial programming and mindset.
Mm.
We're basically taught, stay in school, study hard, get a good job, which sounds sensible.
Right, for getting a job, sure.
But it can accidentally lock you into a cycle. You might earn a lot, but you end up with debt and always needing that next paycheck. It really makes you question where financial education should start.
And that leads straight into this core conflict, this dilemma between the two mentors. You've got the poor dad saying, study hard for a good job, standard advice.
The standard path.
But then the rich dad encouraged studying to be rich, to understand how money works, and learn how to have it work for me.
And his mantra, it's so direct, I don't work for money, money works for me. Simple, but powerful.
Yeah.
And remember that first lesson the sources talk about? Paying just 10 cents an hour?
Uh-huh. Seemed harsh.
Well, it wasn't really about the wage. It was intentional, designed to make the kid think, to look for opportunities beyond just trading time for pennies.
Oh, okay. Like that comic book library idea they came up with.
Exactly. It showed that, financial imagination, seeing chances others miss, that's key, not just working harder at the same job.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So moving on from that mindset shift, the sources hit on maybe the biggest point, assets versus liabilities. The core lesson is put really simply. Rich people acquire assets. The poor and middle class acquire liabilities they think are assets.
Mm-hmm. And this flips a lot of common beliefs on their head.
Like what? A house.
Yeah, often a primary residence, the sources argue, is a liability. Or that new car. Why? Because they consistently take money out of your pocket.
Right. Maintenance, insurance, payments.
Exactly. And this fuels what the sources call the rat race.
Explain that a bit.
It's that cycle, right? Your income goes up, maybe you get a raise, but then your spending, your liabilities, they go up too. A bigger house, a fancier car.
So you're trapped. Still need to work just as hard, maybe harder, even with more money coming in.
Precisely. You're stuck. So true wealth, according to these sources, isn't just your salary, it's how much money your money is making. Or, put another way, your ability to survive financially based purely on the cash flow from your assets.
Okay, so how do people build those assets? The sources talk about financial intelligence. What does that involve?
It's like a toolkit. Understanding numbers, that's accounting, basically. Knowing how markets work, investing. And grasping the law, legal structures.
Legal structures, like corporations.
Yes, that's highlighted as a key secret of the rich, using corporations.
Oh, how so?
Well, the sources point out that a corporation can often pay expenses before paying taxes. An employee gets taxed first, then pays expenses. It's a different flow, a potentially big advantage.
So it's less about just climbing the career ladder?
It's about owning the ladder, as the sources put it, building the system, not just working within it. And today, wealth is increasingly about information, being bold, constantly learning seminars, reading, trying things. That's critical now. The world changes fast.
Which brings us to mindset again, the emotional side. Fear is a big one, right? Fear of not having enough or fear of losing what you have.
Huge. That fear and also desire wanting the nice things, those emotions can keep you running in that rat race.
Like the donkey chasing the carrot analogy used in the sources.
Yeah, you're driven by emotion, not really by clear thought about your long-term finances.
So what's the alternative mindset?
The sources suggest shifting from saying, I can't afford it, which, feels kind of final and disempowering.
Mm-hmm. Shuts down thinking.
Right. To asking, how can I afford it? That question opens things up. It encourages a stronger mind and a dynamic spirit, as they put it. It's about actively looking for ways, taking action, maybe having the guts to buy an investment when it's not popular. You're playing to win, not just trying not to lose.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive really seems to show that financial freedom, it's not just about how much you make.
Not primarily, no.
It's fundamentally about how much you keep, and critically, how you make that money work for you.
Exactly. So the challenge for you, listening right now, is what's one step, just one thing you can do today based on these ideas to maybe start acquiring an income-generating asset, or even just to start shifting that mindset, moving away from only working for money towards having money work hard for you.
Because, as the sources remind us, it's what is in your head that determines what is in your hands. Something to really think about.